Right, so today we're going to talk about why more and more people are getting protection dogs. See, it used to be like 5-6 years ago, you didn't see so many people with protection dogs or talking about them. But as you can see, it's becoming very popular. We're getting more people asking us about, dogs for protection. Even people who've never even had dogs are now considering, getting protection dogs, which is a big leap from never having a dog straight to a protection dog. And we're also seeing more social media content about it, actually showing what protection dogs can do. So you didn't always have that. Some people didn't really understand. They might see security dogs at airports and at certain places, but they don't really understand what a protection dog can do, especially Dobermans, because you don't tend to see Dobermans doing security work or police work. So because of that reason, you don't really see a lot of them around. And when people come to us and inquire about puppies, they're always like saying, we want a big one, we want to feel protected. Oh, we've got a big dog already, but we want another one because, neighbourhood. And we hear a lot of people, almost everyone's talking to us about security concerns. We do get people, like women who want to feel protected as well. For them, they feel like a protection dog is a really good thing. So yeah, you're seeing a lot more of it. It's not just for celebrities anymore. A lot of people couldn't really afford it because it was out of the price range. And like, we live in the UK. In the UK, like, you can't have any weapons, and there has been a spate of like really wealthy like footballers getting burgled and so on, with their like wives at home with the kids. And they're recognising that, we don't want to leave our wife at home with the kids, even if we do have like CCTV and security gates and so on. Like, a lot of police officers will tell you when you got burgled that the best protection is a dog, because the dog's going to alert, the dog's going to, if it's a Doberman, it's definitely going to intimidate. And me personally, one of the reasons why I realised that I had a dog before, a small breed, and to all intents and purposes, the dog's supposed to be protecting you to some extent, and I found that, in a public park, I'm the one protecting the dog from other dogs, and I thought, it should be at least 50-50, it shouldn't be or me. But that wasn't the reason why. The reason why was, I remember watching this video, and I'm sure you can find it if you search for it, on what a dog would do if a burglar breaks into their house. So they staged it. It was done by a major TV network, and almost everyone said, no, my dog will not let a burglar in the house. And every single one of those dogs let the burglar in the house. In fact, some of them would roll over and let the burglar like pet their belly, and some would hide under the couch. And in fact, it was the smaller dogs sometimes that were a little bit more like, watching the burglar, following the burglar through the house. But you're going to be a lot safer with a Doberman behind you than, if you don't have a Doberman. Some Dobermans have stronger instincts than others, and it's the same with all protection dogs. Like, when you see like people training protection dogs, they don't just pick any, one from the litter. They're looking for certain characteristics. So that's the mistake that people can make. And they say never work with children or animals. So although we are filming this, you're going to hear some growling, you're going to hear some barking, but that's because these dogs are having a bit of free time right now. But having a protection dog by your side, like I've got two right here, makes me a little bit less intimidating if you were looking for someone to attack. And I've often heard it said that, like, when, say for example, when a man is looking for a woman to attack, there's certain characteristics which will make them like change their mind. Like, they say if they're carrying an umbrella, that could be like seen as a weapon, so they might like avoid that person. Or if they've got like a set of keys, they might look at that as a weapon. Well, I think if somebody was going to try to attack, these would probably rank a little bit higher than an umbrella, possibly. And also, when you have the dogs, you can put like signs in your house saying, look, you can put whatever signs you want in your house saying, we have dogs. I've seen it to the extent of like not responsible for death or injury. I mean, your choice, but it's nice to give people a heads up, because the thing is, a lot of these protection dogs, they're not like some like bigger dogs don't tend to be as like yappy and barky as like the smaller dogs. So you might have seen clips where like the burglar breaks in, complete silence, and then like a big dog will just like attack them, because bigger breeds aren't very yappy, and if you don't like dogs that bark a lot, then bigger breeds are great. But with these dogs, you really want to trust their instincts. And some dogs definitely have more of the characteristics than others, but yeah, like that. There's a lot of things that like Dobermans will protect against, and it's not just the typical things you think of. So you've got like burglars. I mean, I've been attacked by like random dogs in a park, but like the dogs don't even necessarily want. Like if a dog looks aggressive, sometimes they go into action. Like they'll pass a friendly dog on the street and like not say anything, not even make a noise. But if a dog like starts like showing his teeth, or like if a dog's like barking with a bit of aggression in his voice, then it can set them off. I mean, they're controllable. I can control them, but it's just because I'm shooting this video, I can't give them the commands. But it's great having like something that's within your command. Like they could be like silent and peaceful, and then you can say one command and then they'll just go into like alert mode or go into like protection mode. So that's really good. I mean, sometimes they use their own intuition, and I kind of, based on experience, have a lot of faith in dog intuition. So I kind of almost like trust their instincts, like at least 99%. And there has been a couple of times when like a dog, not necessarily these dogs, but a dog that we've had has been barking and alerting at something, and we weren't paying attention, thinking, oh, it's probably nothing. And there was actually someone there, like somebody there, like outside our house, like banging on the wall. And I was just like, where's that sound coming from? It can't be outside our house. And all along, like they'd been doing it for months, and the dog had been alerting and barking. And we were there thinking, oh, it's just nothing. And then come to find out, this guy had been doing it for months. On the CCTV. Right, okay, had to restore a bit of order, we're back now. So yeah, with this dog that's barking a lot, she's a puppy, she's still 10 months, so we're still training her. But older dogs can be like, you know, more mature in terms of like ignoring a dog that's like barking. But the younger dog's still getting into it. One thing I will say is that with dogs, don't just get a protection dog and be like, oh, it's fine. No matter how good this dog's instincts is, get the protection dog trained. I cannot state this enough. Not because the instincts aren't reliable. The instincts are very reliable. But what's the point in having a dog with good instincts that doesn't know how they should react in a certain situation? You can't just wait until something happens and then communicate it. Because I've got so many stories I can tell. But I have to follow that up with the next video. But just get the dog trained. Trust me, I could sit here all day explaining why, but just get the dog trained, because the dog might have the best instincts. Somebody could be like running at you, about to attack you, and the dog knows something's wrong, but the dog doesn't know if you want it to react, how it should react, and there's different ways it can react. So we take our dogs to a protection training school, and they go there. So we do know what we're talking about. We literally have finished training the older dog, and you're going to see us start training the younger dog. We were just waiting for her to get to a certain age, but she already has like impeccable instincts. Like even when she was like 5 months, I was seeing like a shifty guy across the street, and she'd like literally put herself between me and him, and he came behind us and was walking behind us. He crossed over the road, and she was walking and like looking back like this, like looking back. I didn't tell her anything. She could just see something about this guy, and he wasn't even like that shifty. He just like didn't look very savoury. Nothing visible in his appearance, just his like mannerisms. And she was like walking and constantly looking back, and the guy almost like was walking to the point where he was walking faster than us, because she kept looking back so much it was slowing us down to the point where he almost like wanted to go past us. So yeah, I definitely like look for a dog with good instincts. I have another video that I did about like how to test a puppy's instincts. I'd say like depending on the age it's more reliable, because younger dogs are still. But yeah, if you are going to get a protection dog, the reason I'd say like either Doberman or German Shepherd is Dobermans, definitely because they're the only dog that was specifically bred for personal protection, so they've got the specific instincts and traits. However, they do tend to prefer one person. That they do still make good family dogs, but they're going to really want to focus their protection on one person. And there's a video I've done about how they choose their favourite person. German Shepherds, they say that a Doberman was bred from a German Shepherd and some other breeds. So German Shepherds definitely have very good instincts, but the difference, I'd say, like, there's many differences between Dobermans and German Shepherds. A lot of people just choose it based on whether they like short-haired dogs or long-haired dogs. But I will say, with German Shepherds, they have more of an instinct to like chase somebody down and like attack them. That's why like police use them, because they want them to like chase down, or like if somebody who's fleeing, or like chase them down and like attack them. Whereas Dobermans, they're more like defenders than attackers. Like, they're not as likely to like chase someone down, and like they're more likely to, like, if somebody's coming at them, to defend them. Like, naturally, like an untrained Doberman, their instinct is more to like defend. So that's one of the reasons why police don't use them. But the main reason police don't, I'm not going to say that reason, that's a secret actually. But yeah, there are a few reasons why police don't use protection dogs, because especially like Dobermans, they like to really like focus on one handler, whereas in like a police force where you've got multiple people that need to handle them, that's not always a good thing, you know. Like, that person's not always going to be there. It needs to be more like a German Shepherd that can work with any handler. But yeah, I'm pretty convinced that like Dobermans are one of the best protection dogs